What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm on 2 minutes early. Who we got on here? We got a couple of folks on. How you guys doing? We'll give it another minute. We're like 2 minutes early, but I want to say welcome to everybody. I'll get to some of the questions before I start recapping at 10:45. Yeah, man, John Stanton coming in clutch, no doubt about it, man. These guys are on a warpath right now. They really are. They really are, man. Like, it's fantastic to watch this team play baseball right now. It's so much fun. And I do agree, Ivan, that Gallo should probably be moved down a couple spots, maybe to the 6th spot. I agree with that right now. Until he gets more consistent with his bat, he should be moved down a little bit. And daily dose, no man, 10 times, baby, 10 in a row, baby. I love it, absolutely love it. And Alan, a few months ago, Stanton wouldn't even be playing. You're right, 100% right, bro. He wouldn't even be playing in the field. He would not. I mean, he who would have thought that, or took him this much time to figure out that he's better playing in the field. He's a better hitter when he's playing in the field, and he actually stays healthy. But I still would give him a regular rest day, one rest day per week, no matter what. No matter what. I would do the same with Gallo. I would do the same with Judge, and utilize these other guys. Utilize Estevan Florial. Bring him back up. Utilize Greg Allen and stuff. But that's just my opinion. But let's recap the game. So they've won their 10 straight. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's an insignificant fact of the day today. This is the first time since 1909, 120 years, that two teams on 9-game winning streaks each played each other. It's only happened 3 times in Major League history. Tonight, the third. Second was in 1909. The first time, I don't even know when. But it's been 120 years since this happened, so it's pretty great. Jordan Montgomery took the mound with 5 innings of 1-run ball. 2 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, 75 pitches. So he's still coming back from COVID as well, kind of building up that stamina again. And then he handed it off to Johnny Lasagna, went 2 studly innings, 4 strikeouts and 1 hit. Left it over to Wandy the Wonder Peralta. Another clean inning in the 8th, and then he handed it to Chapman for the 9th. Another clean 9th for Chapman. So it's good to see him kind of, clean up the 9th, get through it, and hopefully build his confidence back so he can start being dominant again when we need him. We're heading into the final stretch here. I mean, under 40 games left, so the Yankees need all hands on deck, especially Chapman, and especially since Zach Britton went on the 10-day IL today. He's had elbow inflammation, so got to watch out here. It could be an issue. Hopefully it won't be, but it's good to have Chapman now. It's good to have these other relievers kind of pitching well, now that Britton is down. So hopefully this is not a serious thing, but we'll see. I mean, these other guys are working their way back. Gio started his rehab assignment with 3 for 4 in his first game. Gleyber Torres is working his way back. So is also Miguel Andujar still feeling something in his wrist. So they shut him down for a few days, and they're going to see what happens over the next couple days. So, and no other updates on really any major players for the Yankees. But Giancarlo Stanton was most of the offense today. One of our premier hitters who we absolutely need. He's heating up. He hit a solo home run in the 2nd to put him up 1-0. Dansby Swanson came up and tied it at 1-1 with a solo home run off Manny. But then Stanton came back with a 2-run double in the 6th inning. It was 1-1 until the 6th. 2-run double. And then he now has 21 home runs and 64 RBIs. So he's on the way for like a 30 to 35 home run season and 100 plus RBIs. That's a good season for Stanton. I'll take that every year for Stanton. So Judge also went 2 for 4. So he's still playing well. He's hitting well. He made a great play in center field. Gallo made a ridiculous diving catch in left field. So they were great all around. And Stanton made a couple of strong offensive rebounds off the wall and throwing the ball in. So he had some good reads tonight too. Gary Sanchez then hit a 2-run single in the 8th to put him up 5-1. And then Wandy the Wonder came in, closed him down in the 8th, and then Chapman came down and closed him down in the 9th. And that was the game. I mean, and it's this is only a 2-game series, but if we could sweep the Braves, we'd be in a really good position. And keep in mind, too, the Rays did not play today, so the Yankees did pick up a half a game on first. So that's another good thing. Boston and Toronto won. There's no change there, but the Yankees are ahead of them anyway, so the key is Tampa now. So, and Chicago White Sox also lost. So they're kind of slumping now, too. So I would look out for that. I still wouldn't sleep on them, but it looks like Kimbrel is struggling, man, since he's come here. He hasn't been the Kimbrel of dominance in the National League. But this happens a lot when relievers and starters go from the National League to the American League. It happens more often than people think. It's a tougher transition than the other way around, than going from the AL to the NL. I don't know why. Maybe it could be because of the extra DH and stuff like that, and just a different style of baseball. But this happens quite often, so it could be indicative of what Kimbrel's going through. Tauchman Peralta trade, yeah, man. Aaron, hell yeah. The Yankees won that trade, the Wandy Tauchman trade. Tauchman was hot when he first got over to the Giants, but then he fizzled out. They DFA'd him already, and he's, I hope he gets an opportunity somewhere like Greg Bird did, but I don't know. I really don't know. But he was good when he was with the Yankees. It was fun having him here and whatnot, but I wish him luck no matter where he goes. Yeah, it was a good game. And the Bronx Bombers are monsters. Yeah, Wanda. Yeah, they are. And they're monsters that are doing all the different things too. They're finding, since these guys have come here, Rizzo and Gallo and Clay Holmes, who's all, I think, activated off the COVID IL now as well. So that's another arm in the bullpen coming back to replace Britton, who's down now. So that's a good thing. And you're right. Yeah, William, it's going to be tough tomorrow. Charlie Morton. I just did a video this morning about people who are Yankee killers throughout their career, offensively and pitching. So if you haven't seen that, take a look at it. It's in the description. I think you'll enjoy that. People who just gave the Yankees fits over their careers. Charlie Morton, had he played the Yankees for a longer stretch, I think he would have been on this list, because he's always given Yankees fits. And he'll be, if I brought the list to 10, he'd probably be on it, because Morton, Yankees always struggle with Charlie Morton. So, and he's just a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher. And he's really good against the freaking Yankees. So I hope they can get to him tomorrow. I think they will. They are on a good run, man. I think this is the run they needed to go on to really show that they're ready and that they're able to make the postseason. This is the run. If they can keep it going, fantastic. I really hope that they do. But I'll take it either way. A 10-game winning streak late in the season, oh yeah. And they've gone from like 10 games out to, 4 games or 3.5 games out. So this has made a huge difference. And somebody mentioned it the other day, just like the 1978 Yankees. They were out like 14 or 15 games, and they made this ridiculous run all the way to the World Series and won the World Series. So, it's great. It's fantastic. By the way, if you guys hit the like button, if you don't mind, just want to get those likes up a little bit. It's really helpful to the channel. So I appreciate you guys. If you're having a good time, hit that like button. I want to try to get that up to, up in the 25 to 50 range for these videos if I can. Wanda, the game of the year. It's 2 teams on a 9-game winning streak, and one gets crushed tonight with the one that crushed. Yeah, it's crazy, Wanda. I don't know if you were on when I mentioned it, but this is the first time since 1909, 120 years, that 2 teams that were on 9-game winning streaks played each other. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the likes. It's the first time in 120 years. So this is a historical game. Game just made history. So, but I'm glad the Yankees are on the winning side of it. That's what matters most, man. And I'm really glad. And yeah, Johnny Lasagna, man, he's one of the most underrated relievers. You're absolutely right, Aaron. I'm glad he's with us, and we still have him, I think, until 2025, which is fantastic. So 3 years of control. He's young. A lot of these guys, even Nestor Cortez. And it looks like some of the Yankees are starting to grow out the mustache, like Stanton. Maybe it's like a Nestor Cortez movement. I don't know if you saw them all wearing the Nestor Cortez T-shirts the other day, but it's becoming like a thing now with the Yankees. So pretty cool. But Cortez is only 26 too, and he has like 5 more years or 4 more years of team control with the Yankees. So him and Loizaga, we have a lot of valuable pieces here for a bunch of years. So that makes me really happy to see. And I'm hoping that the Yankees will continue with these guys and keep adding to them. If Volpe gets an opportunity, Peraza gets an opportunity, keep adding to this young dynamic team. They'll have a lot of youth on the dynamic side, like the Padres do, like the Blue Jays do. They'll be set up very, very nicely for the long run. So, and again, I give Boone credit, I give Cashman credit, I give the players credit. They're all taking part in this turnaround. So, good job, guys. Really, really well done. Yeah, Gallo and Odor have kind of slowed down. No doubt about it. But he's Gallo at the very least. He's streaky with the bat. He still puts up numbers, but he's streaky with the bat. It's kind of like Sanchez, but Sanchez is way more lengthy streaky. He goes on a ridiculous 25 game tear, and then he does nothing for 40 games, and then he goes on another 40 game tear. And that's Gallo's kind of like bits and pieces, almost Stanton-esque. And, Gallo's going to wind up with 30 to 35 home runs too. But it's not going to feel like it because he strikes out so freaking much. So it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's true. Yeah, I mean, the rotation with Rizzo and Voit, well, I think finding a way to play both of them is important, and that, putting Judge in the outfield kind of makes Stanton in the outfield makes it a little bit easier because they can DH Voit and play Rizzo at first, and they can even rotate them. Give Rizzo a DH day or an off day, and then you can plug Stanton at the DH. So it gives them flexibility, but I think it does work out with both of them there. Clint, with I think Voit has an overall superior bat, but Rizzo has an overall superior glove. So if you combine their skill sets, I think it's a good addition, a good ingredient or batch of ingredients for the Yankees. And they're gamers, they're veterans. Voit took it. Voit was like almost Player of the Year last year, and the Yankees MVP, and was a major league home run leader, and all of a sudden. And I know he got hurt a few times this year, unfortunately, but he was on the trading block, and it's like, that's a gut punch. So I can understand him feeling frustrated, but I can also understand the logic of bringing in a Rizzo. He's got valuable leadership intangibles, vocal leadership intangibles that the Yankees haven't had in a while, and he, to me, is a guy that the Yankees needed, and I think they complement each other well. They just have to figure out a way to do it, and they're both veterans. I think they'll be fine. So, but I'd rather have both of them than one of them or none of them. So, but would I be surprised if they move Voit for pitching in the offseason? I would not, because he's got 3 years of cheap control. So I would keep an eye out for that, and then you figure out what they do, because if they do re-sign Rizzo, there's still the issue of DJ LeMahieu, where to play him. So, and if you play him at second, then you means you're committing to Torres at shortstop. So I think there's a couple of decisions that need to be made this offseason by Cashman. William Gallo's glove is phenomenal. So is his arm. He's a really great defensive player. He's got a ridiculous arm. He's got a cannon. And he's actually the only outfielder on the team that has a better arm than Aaron Judge. And when they do these mile-per-hour velocity, he's up at like 95 miles an hour throwing the ball from the outfield. So he's got a bazooka. So like Judge has a cannon, this guy has a bazooka. So I wouldn't run on either one of them. So that's all I know. And I ran fast in college, and as fast as a baseball player and as fast as track, and I don't think I'd run on either one. So, but it is what it is. I'm glad they're with us. I'll tell you that. Yeah, pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, hey, welcome, Wanda. Your grandson's more than welcome to come on. More than welcome to come on. We'd love to have another Yankee fan on here. I want this to become one of the best Yankees channels out there. And I'm glad to be able to do these live videos now, so we can chat and have good dialogue and the thing. So I'm going to keep putting out regular videos too. But you guys make this channel great, so I appreciate all of you. Daily, Andujar was transferred to the 60-day IL from his current situation. But yeah, they shut him down for a couple days. That doesn't mean the 60 days starts from now. It's retroactive. But he felt something in his wrist, so they shut him down for a couple days, and then they're going to reevaluate from there. So, but transferring him over, I personally think he's done for the season. And I think Frazier's done for the season, unfortunately. But they're still going to obviously try to figure out what's going on and try to get them back on the field. But in my opinion, and I think Severino's done for the season too. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think that I am. So unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept Voit and let Rizzo walk. I mean, Voit he's under control till 2025, so we got 3 cheap years, right? And Rizzo's probably going to cost $20 million a year for probably 3 to 4 years. So if you think about it, I mean, what do the Yankees need more? First baseman to alternate with Voit, or another starting pitcher? And just to boost the pitching. I personally would invest in pitching, but we'll see. Would I be upset if Rizzo came back? Not at all. Not at all, especially if they figure out how to play both of them together. Again, he's a clutch guy, and I'd rather keep him off of Boston and some of the other teams. Keep him out of Tampa. And if he went back to the Cubs, I'd be fine with that, but I don't want him going to Tampa or Boston or places like that. So, yeah, Judge is looking good too, Robin, center. I would, like I said, I would still give him an off day every week. He's a big dude, just like Stanton. Let them guys have a regular rest day so that they can recover and kind of handle that pounding out there. So that's what I would personally do. But yeah, I mean, Clint, I do think they'll probably wind up moving Andujar and Frazier in the offseason. I don't know what kind of value they're going to have. Hopefully, I think if they get him back and they get to play a little bit, they get to reestablish value. But being out for so long, it's really hard to do that. So, but you never know. Let's get them healthy first. Jarvis, I don't think Sevi comes back this year. In my personal opinion, they should wait until next year. If they do bring him back this year, he's got to come in. He's got to come in the bullpen. Nothing else. Get him back for next year, even if it's a bullpen or a starter for next year. I don't care if he's either one, because I think obviously we have O'Day not coming back and some of these other guys. So and even if they might move a guy like Britton, they might move a Chapman this offseason. I don't know, but Severino wouldn't be a bad guy to have in the bullpen. It's kind of a John Smoltz situation where he couldn't handle the pounding of being a starter anymore, so they transferred him over to being a closer or a reliever, and he was dominant. So this is to me like a Smoltz type situation where he could do it, but I don't know that they will. But why risk another year? He's making $10 million a year. Let's get something out of him instead of nothing. So, and as a starter, he's dominant, but he gets hurt, man. So why not have 2 or 3 innings of dominant relief out of him? Just have him throw darts for 2 or 3 innings, and then have him be a ridiculous weapon in there. But that's what I would do personally. I wouldn't, unless he's full health and ready to go, I wouldn't have him touch a starting rotation. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yeah, Gio started his rehab assignment. So did Kluber. Yeah. I mean, they're both kind of working their way back. I could see. I don't know what we're going to get from Kluber, to be honest with you, but daily. But Gio went 3 for 4 in his first game, so I could see the value there. And it's right around the time too. The timing would probably be good when Odor is kind of cooling off. You can get Gio in here, give the Yankees another jolt of energy, and kind of keep this momentum. Jarvis, just Kluber in here. He's on a rehab assignment. So he's slowly working back. I think they're going to give him quite a few opportunities to kind of build up his innings before he comes. I don't see him coming back before September, but crazier things have happened. But I don't see the point in bringing him back before September unless he can throw at least 4 to 5 good innings. And then after that, I don't see him coming back next year because of how long he was hurt. But we'll see about that. I don't know. But yeah, they're both on rehabs right now, Kluber and Gio. So hopefully they can come back healthy. So, O'Day is 38, man. The Yankees only signed him for a year, so I don't think he'll be back. And they can if they replace him with Severino or someone else in one of their young relievers' ridings, they'll be fine. They'll be totally fine. So, O'Day, I would have liked to have had O'Day 10 years ago when he was 28 and dominating, not when he was 38. But Yankees do this sometimes too. And getting a guy like 5 years too late, 7 years too late. I don't know why they do it, but yeah, but it is what it is. Heaney match. I hope. Yeah, I hope Heaney pitches as well tomorrow against Morton than he did last time, So, I know Luis Hill is pitching in the minors tomorrow. Heaney's pitching tomorrow up in the big club. So, I think they're going to keep Hill down until the rosters expand, and it's only going to expand by like 2 or 3 people, but it might be him and like or Greg Allen or somebody like that come up, but we'll see. I think they're kind of trying to save his arm a little bit for the postseason, but we'll see. Heaney might not, unless he starts pitching really well. No, he might not make the postseason roster, but we'll see. It didn't really cost him anything to get him, but I hope he has a couple good more games and keeps helping the Yankees win games. So. And hopefully claw themselves closer to Tampa. I would love to overtake Tampa, but I know it's going to be a monumental task. So, who would I send down, Wade or Dora Velasquez? Wade now has become, of those 3, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Wade has become like a super utility size. I'd love to keep them all, but you never know. They might DFA Odor. They might, but if you have to send down anybody of those 3, it'd probably be Velasquez because he has a ton of options, and I think he has a ton of options. And you can bring him back up, but or save him for next year or something. But Wade's kind of become a super utility guy, and he's hitting extremely well. So it stinks when you have guys like this who are getting hot. And I know Odor's a veteran; they have him on the cheap, so I don't know what that production he's been giving them. They're going to want to move any of these guys, but you're right; it becomes a roster crunch daily. So I don't know who they're going to send down. I really have no idea. It's going to be a tough decision for Boone. I think it's really going to be a tough decision. And, Wanda, can't afford to give up a home run in the first. Yeah, well, thankfully, guys like Cole and Montgomery, they kind of rebound after giving up home runs in the first. But but some of the guys implode, and like sometimes Herman was imploding, pitching well or imploding. And this is what happened to Severino too. He'd be dominant, and then he give up like 6 runs in the first inning. He eventually settled down, but so it's stuff like this. We have to avoid those bad innings, and they've done a good job recently of avoiding those really bad innings. So, yeah, I mean Jarvis, Boone. This is Boone's walk year, so I think depending on how far he goes into the postseason, he'll probably get a 2 or 3 year deal. I think he'll get more than a 1 year deal. Managers generally don't get 1 year deals. If he takes them far to the ALCS or the World Series, I think you can pretty much be assured that he'll be back. But I mean, who would you replace him with? I wouldn't bring Buck Showalter in or Joe. I wouldn't do it. Not in place of a Boone. Mm-hmm. So Girardi's not coming back. He's over there with Philly. So I mean, it's not going to happen either. So who would we replace him with? That's the other thing. Joe Maddon's with the Angels. That's not happening. So, yeah, and Odori's a clutch player, Clint. That's why it would be difficult to move him. But like Wade's been so good lately, and like Velasquez is coming on too. So it's really hard. Like it's a good problem to have, but it just makes the decisions tougher for Boone to figure out who they're going to, swap for. So, Cuber, I'll be doing more collabs. Yeah, I'm gonna have Derek from NYY recaps on my channel, and we'll be doing some more collaborations now that I have. I'm moving to my new spot, my new house in a little over a week. So I'm gonna have my layout nice and done and stuff like that. So, but I definitely want to do more collabs. So, and I'd love to get to the point where I can have a bigger YouTuber on here, or somebody who actually works for the Yankees channel, like do an interview. Yeah, that would be really cool if I get to the point where I can do that. So that's something I'd really like to do, is have somebody that represents the Yankees on here. That would be kind of a dream come true. But my favorite current player, Aaron, well, in the Yankees, it's Garrett Cole. And majors, I got a couple. I got a couple. I like Ohtani. Obviously, I like Trout. I like a bunch of these. I like Vlad Jr. He's just a fun player to watch. I like Joey Votto. And then I like a bunch of Yankees too. So, I like Stanton. I like Judge. I like Gio, DJ, obviously. So, I like a bunch of – most of the Yankees that would be on my favorites list. But my absolute favorite player of all time was Lou Gehrig. My favorite Yankee of all time, aside from Lou Gehrig, was Don Mattingly. So those are my kind of tiered hierarchy. But it's hard now because there's so many good players. I like Fernando Tatis too. And these guys are all gamers, and they're all, they're pretty cool people too. So I kind of like the personality that comes along with it when they're decent people. Daly, well, you're right about Severino. He was tipping pitches. It made it more difficult for him. That's a good point, man. That is a good point. He was. Hashtag Red Hot Yankees. I could do that. I could hashtag Red Hot Yankees Wanda. That's done. I'll do that. No doubt about it. I think Girardi will be back in Philly, Jarvis, but I'd be surprised if they fired him. But, I would be surprised if they fired him. But then, it might happen. But if Philly doesn't make the playoffs and the Yankees do, I don't see the point in firing Boone and bringing back Girardi. That's just not going to sit well with a lot of people, and I don't know if it makes sense. So, but who knows? Who knows? The Yankees keep rolling and playing well. I don't see the point in moving Boone, getting rid of him. But that's just me. The Stanton remind me of any other players from the past? Proud by chance. Stanton reminds me. That's a good question. Richie Sexson. He reminds me of him. This guy has more high-end stats, obviously, Stanton, but that's a good one to me. Richie Sexson, big guy. He was also a Yankee killer. And he also hit some big home runs like Stanton. So, and he was streaky, kind of like Stanton too. That's probably the most indicative player, I think. Closest guy to me for Stanton. What about you? What do you think? Do you agree with the old Yankees with Posada, Rivera, Sheffield, A-Rod, and Jeter on the best? Well, they were amongst the best Yankees team. That 1998 team was crazy good. That's probably the best modern day Yankee team aside from Murderers Row. Like that team had Brocious and even the role players like Luis Soho and Homer Bush and Tino and Paul O'Neill. Like that team was all time. I mean, again, aside from Murderers Row, I think those are the two best Yankee teams out there. I did see that the Padres fired Larry Rothschild, and Matt Blake has turned things around here. He's been really instrumental in this pitching rotation success. I mean, boy, people are dumping on him, but they go through this stuff. I mean, and the Padres have a lot of firepower too. So I mean, but Larry Rothschild never really wowed me here in New York, so I'm not surprised they moved on from him in San Diego. But I'd be curious to see who they bring in now as the pitching coach, but. We'll see. I mean, there's a chance that the Padres might not even make the postseason. The Reds are ice hot right now, red hot. So they might not even make it. So, which is crazy because that team is stacked. So, and they have Mike Clevenger coming back next year if that rotation is. This is going to be ridiculous. So, Andujar had a wrist issue. Tore something in his wrist, and he's been kind of recovering from it ever since. And that's a tough thing to recover from because he needs his wrist and he needs his arms and he needs his upper body for that swing. So I think he'll be back next year. I think it would be smart just to recover and build him towards next year. For a couple of these guys, him and Frazier and even Severino, I think it would be wise to just let these guys recover, get him healthy, and have him back next year. So on a clean slate. But I know, I mean, at this point, they want to move some of these guys in trades, but they don't have any value to be moved. So I get them healthy and have them come back next year. And if they're healthy and performing and raking in spring training, you can move them in spring training. So, but we'll see. Cashman, I don't see Cashman moving on from Boone. Who's he going to bring him in? I mean, who's he going to bring in to replace him is my question. And that's my main question. Who are they going to replace him with? Am I going to have mods for the channel? Moderators? GameCube? I don't know. Maybe. If I get to the point, if I get to like 5,000 subscribers or something like that, maybe. I want to get to the point where I'm a little bit bigger before I do that. I want to get the channel. It's maybe between 5 and 10,000 subs, and I do think I can get there. It's just going to take some time. So, and so I'm hoping as many people subscribe as possible, and many people hit the like button because the like button helps the channel's growth too. So helps YouTube promote these things. So, but I might, GameCuber. I mean, I might. I'm going to spruce up the channel with some things and some different content, but right now I'm just kind of keeping it organic and keeping the content and discussion good and keeping you guys engaged and informed. So, but I will spruce it up when the time comes when I can. I definitely will. Best Yankee teams, 27, 98, and 61. Yeah, 61's a good one, too. That's the Roger Maris year, 61 home runs, Mantle, 52, I think it was that year. Those are the three best. I agree. Why are Davis and Heaney on the roster? Well, Davis was called down. They sent him down. They might have actually brought him back up for injury replacement, but he's one of the speedy, more defensive outfielders. He'll give these guys in the outfield a break. Heaney, they needed pitching depth and now you have Heaney allows them to ease Kluber back in, and probably not going to have Severino. So that's why I think Heaney's here, and he's a lefty. They just needed more pitching depth, and if he continues to pitch similar to what he did the other day, then it was worth it. And they didn't really give up much for him anyway, so I really don't care. And you can never have enough starting pitching, especially for the Yankees. They always have issues with starting pitching, which is nuts. But 5 on the bench, Odor, Wade, Gardner, Higgy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I would say Odor, Wade. Well, it's probably going to be Gardner. If it's not Gardner, it's going to be Florial, Allen, and Higgy. Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to be the bench. But Gardner's probably not going to be gone until the end of the year, and he'll move on, I think. Torres might be a trade chip in the offseason, maybe. And obviously, if they do, they're committing to probably bringing in one of these stud shortstops that are going to be free agents. So there's like 4 of them still. Trevor Story, we got Corey Seager, Carlos Correa, Baez. I think those are the 4 because Lindor was traded to the Mets and already locked up long term. So of those 4, I would go after Corey Seager. Lefty, clutch in the postseason. He's the youngest, I think, of the batch, or one of the youngest. So he's the only shortstop in that batch I would go after. That's just my opinion. If they move Torres, and if they do move him, it's got to be for a controllable starting pitcher. That's the only scenario that I move Torres. I don't move him for anybody else. But again, that's just me. But who do you think? Starting pitchers in free agency? Yeah, Syndergaard, Scherzer, Rodon, Verlander. I mean, of those guys, I would go after Rodon, and I would take a flyer on Verlander. Scherzer, I don't think is going to. The Dodgers are going to. He said he wasn't going to waive his no-trade clause unless he was getting an extension. So I expect the Dodgers to give him a couple years extension. Syndergaard, too much of an injury risk for me. Even though he's young and a dart thrower, I would go after Rodon. He's still young. He's a lefty, and he's a pretty consistent guy. And and Verlander, if you can get Rodon and Verlander, I would go after both. In all honesty, but and welcome to your grandson, Wanda. Welcome. We'd love to have him. But Rodon and Verlander would be my 2 guys I'd go after. No doubt about it. Hill, Luis Hill. Yeah, I mean he's still young, so well, Hill for the bench. Okay, well he'd be not really on the bench. He'd be in the out in the bullpen. But I mean Hill, I would call up. If I had to call up 2 guys, it would be Hill and Greg Allen. Those are the 2 guys I would call up. If they have more, then it would be Hill and Allen and Florial probably. And but again, they're still going to have to make room for Gio, Torres, and probably Kluber. So it's going to be an interesting next couple weeks. I would definitely choose Florial over Davis. But if they kept Davis, I wouldn't be surprised because he's lightning fast in the outfield. Absolute speed. But then so is Tyler Wade. And Tyler Wade plays multiple positions. So if I had to choose between the 2, it would be Tyler Wade. That's who I would choose. But it's a good problem to have, but it's a tough decision-making process. I know. It's nuts, man. Greg Allen has one more option. He's also under control until 2025, so he's a controllable player. So I hope he gets an opportunity here, and if he doesn't, then you move him. But he would be I've been talking about him since the offseason, since they traded for him. So and that's what I would do. Yeah, Davis is here. Yeah, I mean, Davis, I don't think he'll be back next year. I think he's a temporary guy. Number 2 pitcher right now. Number 2 is probably, I think it's going to be Cole, then Taillon, then Montgomery. Or, Cole, it could be Cole, Nestor, Taillon, Montgomery. That way they go righty, lefty, righty, lefty. That would probably be the way I do it. Cole, Nestor, Taillon, and Montgomery. That'd be my 4. And then 5th would be Hill or Herman or something like that. Or both, combination of the 2. 2019, yeah. I mean, I am Lorenzo. I'm feeling a little bit of those vibes. I mean, and hopefully we won't have another cheating scandal like the Astros. Hopefully it's not the Rays this year or whoever it is. So hopefully not another Astros cheating scandal. But it's feeling that way because the Yankees are really clicking on the cylinders now. So. And they have what it takes to win. And again, I mean, I think to take the wild card, they're going to have to win like 95 or 96 games. To overtake and win the division, they're going to have to win 100 games. I don't see them overtaking Tampa without winning 100 games. But again, it's going to require Tampa to slow down. It doesn't look like they're doing that. So, but either way, it's still a fun. This is a lot of fun to watch this team. It really is. And Gio, I mean, when Gio and Torres come back, I don't know, Robert. I mean, this is an iffy one, man. Because there's a lot of I would slow, go slow with Torres and not rush him back. Give him some rehab games like Gio's playing, and thankfully Gio's not having any setbacks right now. With the thumb, it's a little different, but I would slow poke him back, and then when he comes back, I mean, I don't. My guess is they would send down Velasquez when they call these guys up. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. It's a tough one. I wouldn't like to move. I would love the rosters to be at 30 instead of 28. So that way they can keep all these guys. But I wish it was 40 like it was before, but it's not, unfortunately. So and there's no guarantee that Kluber comes back and makes the postseason roster anyway. So that's the other thing too. So if he pitches well, then maybe, but there's no guarantee he's going to make the postseason roster. And if he does, I don't know, Wanda. I mean, Kluber's attractive, but I would probably go after Rodon or Verlander over Kluber because Kluber's just having a hard time staying healthy over the last couple of years. I can see Verlander coming back full tilt from Tommy John, and Rodon is not as much of an injury risk as some of these other guys. So he's a guy I would definitely spend money on, Rodon. So if the Yankees, we're going to get two guys, it would probably be Rodon and Verlander, in my opinion. But again, I don't know if Verlander would ever come here. And I don't even know if he'll be welcome here either. So, but he's a Hall of Famer. So, and he'll make Cole better. And I think we needed somebody at that level to help make Cole, to help push Cole, in my opinion. So I think it would just be better with him here. Yeah, he does, Tim. He makes another rehab start tomorrow. He's slowly coming back. He really is. How many games do you think the Yankees streak will end? The Heron, I'm going to say probably 12 or something like that, around there. But, I mean, I hope it goes further. I hope they win 20 straight. So, but, yeah, I mean, I would like to keep Velasquez too, Robert. I mean, he's just been a fun dose of energy for the team. Gallo is a free agent after next year. Yeah, Daly. They have him for 2022, and then in 2023 he's a free agent. So he'll be up in the following year. So the Yankees have him for one more year, and Texas is paying most of it. So genius move by Cashman to get him and not pay really anything. Rodon. I mean, I can see Justin Verlander coming back on a 1-year high salary deal with incentives. I can see Rodon probably getting a 3 or 4 year deal. Maybe somebody might even go nuts and give him 5 because he's still young. But he's going to cost a little bit, Rodon, because he's pitching so well. But we'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to get going, guys. I appreciate you all coming on. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And you guys are the best. I appreciate all he is. And go enjoy your night and relax. And hopefully we'll be talking about the Yankees' 11th straight win tomorrow night. So enjoy your night, everybody, and I'll talk to you then. Over now.